Well, I'd like to welcome you back to lifeenhancementradio.com. It's just a wonderful way to reach out to the world, to be on this radio station and be involved with this radio group. This is William O, your DJ for the day with a Better You broadcast. And today we're talking about expectation, the fuel for direction. Now, we've talked about expectation. We've read you the scripture from Psalms 39. We've talked about expectation a little bit from a general perspective, but let's dig into it a little bit deeper now. Expectation, defined in the dictionary, is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. In other words, when we expect something, we're expecting change to happen, as I've stated before. We're expecting change to happen. Now, the very unique thing, as I was sitting here and I was just, messing with, while the song was playing, messing with the computer, and I pulled up some quotes about expectation. And 90% of the quotes about expectation are very negative. We got quotes such as, never expect, never assume, never ask, never demand, just let it be. If it's meant to be, it will happen. Another one says, no expectation, no disappointment. One concerning people says, don't blame people for disappointing you. Blame yourself for expecting too much from them. In life, don't expect anything from anyone because expectation, when not fulfilled, gives you pain. When you get something without expecting it, it gives you pleasure. Keep doing your part and leave the rest to God. Now, that's a wonderful one. Now, watch this one. Sometimes we create our own heartbreaks through expectation. I mean, it goes on and on. It says expectation is the root of heartache. Rejection doesn't hurt. Expectation does. Lying doesn't kill. Denial does. Forgetting doesn't heal. Forgiveness does. Okay? Keep your expectations high on achievement and low on people. We expect because we trust. Otherwise, we doubt or do not expect at all. There's just so many quotes here, and I'm just scrolling through, that is just so negative. It doesn't make sense to me. Here's one. This one sticks out. Expectation is the root of all heartache. It just is so sad that we take this word of expectation, what is truly powerful, and it's a word for matriculation through life, is that when we expect things, we look for change, and we're hoping for change. We're requiring change for the better because we're sick and tired of being sick and tired and living in the same position that we were living in. Now, myself, personally, William O., I expect a positive outcome from every interaction that I am encountered with on a daily basis, whether it be verbal, visual, spiritual. I am expecting the best out of the situation. I look for things to disappoint me, because when I see stuff that disappoints me or see things that go wrong, guess what? For me, it's a learning tool. It's a stepping stone for the next level in my life. Because what I found out is that when I stop looking at things pessimistically and stop trying to allow the bad situations to pull me down and to hold me captive and hold me in slavery, what I found out is that I learned to adjust and adapt and overcome. So expectation will allow you to adjust. And what I mean by that is that when things go wrong, we have to figure out another way to handle the situation or the person. When you expect somebody to continue to do the right thing and they fail you, one-time forgiveness. Yes, I get that, because all things happen at any given time. Somebody can slip up and fall. Somebody can forget to do something. That's great. That's wonderful. That's part of life. But when it's a continuous cycle, that once again, get back into that word of insanity, when it continuously goes on, I have to change and adapt my whole thinking process with this person. Okay, so you're not going to do, but I'm expecting you to. So what have I learned from this? That I cannot put my trust in you as far as getting things done. Yes, I love you. Yes, I forgive you. But guess what? I'm expecting a change in you. And the best way for me to get a change out of you, to facilitate a change, to be that influential product in your life, is to begin to treat you differently, talk to you differently, find out what is the trigger point, what is that root catalyst of the whole process that caused us to continue to have a falling out or a negative experience. And once I realize that, then I have to adjust, adapt, and change it. Okay, so if I'm expecting too much from you, fine, that's great. I no longer will expect that from you, but I will not stop loving you, but I'm going to stop expecting that from you because I've learned that I can't continuously put my trust in this person who continuously fails. If I'm continuously doing a process on my job or in life that continuously causes me heartache, continuously puts me in a point where I'm not moving forward or it's not beneficial to me, then I'm no longer expecting to do the things that I used to do to give me an outcome of life that I want to happen in my life. See, when we have outcome expectation of already knowing what we want the end result to be, then we expect it to happen, then we have to change our thought process and our movement of getting to that change point, to getting to that outcome. We have to change how we deal with people. And in memory, we have to remember from whence we came. And what I mean by that is remember how it used to happen. And I'm expecting a different outcome, so I have to change my thought process. I have to look at you differently. So if I'm looking at you differently, I'm looking at the situation differently, what do I need to change? Do I need to change the way that I walk, talk, dress, way that I interact? Yes, all those things have to happen, but I'm expecting an outcome. How does it fuel my direction? If you've been listening, you understand that when I'm expecting, I have to change my outlook on life. What is the outcome? My outcome for 2017 is this, that I'm looking to be in a better position financially. I'm looking to be in a better position spiritually. And most definitely I'm looking to be in a better position physically. I'm expecting my relationships to grow and to blossom. And that's from everybody I know. From my parents to my significant other, my wife, to my friends, to my family, to my work acquaintances. I'm expecting all my relationships to blossom. Now, if they don't blossom, then I need to look at each situation and find out in my expectation, what was I looking for in the outcome, and what do I need to change to get the desired outcome that I need. And if I can't find a way to do it, then maybe I need to let that go. That's the other thing about expectation being the fuel for direction, is because when you look at your expectation and you see the outcome that you want, if you get to that point where you can see no benefit from it or see no point of change where the change is going to benefit a positive outcome, then you have to let it go. We have to learn to let people, places, and things go. We can't continue to hold on to people, can't continue to be in situations that don't mean us any good. We have to learn to tell people, no, I'm sorry. I'm not, well, the game is really saying I'm sorry. It says, this relationship between you and I is no longer benefiting me. In other words, you're hindering me from moving forward in my life. It's nothing personal, but I have to think about me. And that's part of the expectation of direction. When you're looking to move forward, you have to be willing to let some things go and let some people go. And it has to be about you. I was thinking the other day about this, what could be considered in some people's mind, selfishness of self-awareness. And what is meant by that, and I was taught this in the rooms when I was going through my situation with drugs and alcohol, is that at some point in time in life, I have to make my life about me. Yes, I'm here to serve. Yes, I'm here to do things for other people and to help other people. But first and foremost, I can't help anybody else until I help myself. And I can't expect greatness from anybody or anything else until I expect greatness from me. And the only way that I'm going to become greater, I'm going to become better than, is that first of all, I have to invest in me. And when I invest in me, guess what? I get the best outcome. When I start looking at what I'm doing as being and expecting that best outcome, guess what? I'm at my best because I have to be the best that I can be. You know, I may not be better than Tony Robbins or Les Brown, Leroy Allen, Kendall Lanise, or any other talk show hosts, motivational speakers, life coaches out there. And there's thousands, probably even millions of them out there in this world. But you know what? I can be the best William O that I can be. I can be the best life coach that I can be. I can be the best public speaker that I can be. I can be the best preacher that I can be. I expect myself to give it my 110%. I expect you out there listening to me today to be the best that you can be. Now, I can sit here and I can go through all the psychosomatic points of the mind and how the mind works, but that's really irrelevant at this point because we're just getting started. And I want you to understand that how you think fuels how you operate in life. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. How you think about life or what you expect out of life, what your goals are, what your planning process is, what your mission process is. And see, we have to understand in expectation there's a difference between the planning process of getting to your expectation and the mission process. And the mission process is how am I going to acquire this outcome that I'm expecting? How are we going to do it? One of the things that I've learned over the years, especially when I was coming out of drugs and alcohol and getting more spiritual and getting a closer relationship to God, rather, I would rather put it that way. When I was coming out of drugs and alcohol and getting closer to God, my expectation was, God, your word said that I could have life more abundantly. Didn't quite understand what that meant some 13 years ago. But what I understand it to mean now is that I could have a freedom and a peace of being in this world, but not of this world. And the scripture also states that. And what I had to do in my planning process was said, okay, each day I'm going to live and not pick up. That was my basic principle. Each day, I'm going to live and I'm not going to pick up. Second step was no matter how hard that life got, I was still not going to pick up. If I didn't have money and I was hungry, I wasn't going to pick up. I wasn't going to rob and I wasn't going to steal. If somebody still didn't believe that I was trying to change and I got frustrated, I wasn't going to pick up. If my girl wanted to leave me and said that I wasn't trying to help her continue her habit, that was fine. I had to let her go, but I wasn't going to pick up. And over time, the picking up part became easy. Then the next thing I had to do was like, okay, now that I'm not using no more, now I had to learn how to live life on life terms. That I had to start dealing with all those things that I had messed up over my years of usage and manipulation and confusion and misdirection of life. I had to use my every tool that I had learned that I was a kid. And when I was faced with a bill, I had to figure out a way to get it paid without going to the store, robbing it, and taking it to somebody to sell it. I had to figure out a way not to go get a package and go back out there and sell it. I had to figure out a way. And after I got to that, I said my next step is now that I'm clean, now that my mind is not consumed with picking up and using drugs, my mindset is not consumed with making the quick buck. I had to get me a job. I had to rebuild my life, rebuild my trustfulness in this world. So I started off at being a fry cook at O'Reilly's. You know, some of y'all call it Checkers. I started off being a fry cook at O'Reilly's. I started off at the fry station. Then I got to the grill. Then I got to the cashier. That was a big step for me because in my mind, it was like, wow, look how God has moved me forward. And my expectation was that I could regain all of my trustfulness in this world and become even better than I was before. So to get on the register, to be entrusted with this company's money was a great step for me, and I was happy. But then from there, I began